Ramachandran coming up in the next hour. South Asia sizzles under a heat wave. India's capital records a maximum temperature of 48.8 degrees Celsius. Mercury touches 52 degrees in Pakistan. India announces a relief assistance of $1 million to Papua New Guinea in the wake of a devastating landslide that's claimed hundreds of lives. Russia to build a small nuclear power plant in Uzbekistan in what will be the first such project in post-Soviet Central Asia. And Britain's Prime Minister Rishi Sunak proposes tax cuts for millions of pensioners in his latest campaign pledge ahead of the 4th July election. Northern India is experiencing a heat wave. The India Meteorological Department has issued a red alert for the region. Heat wave conditions prevailed over most parts of Rajasthan, Punjab, Haryana, Chandigarh, Delhi and some parts of Madhya Pradesh and Uttar Pradesh. Heat wave conditions prevailed also in isolated pockets of Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh and Gujarat as well. Falodi in Rajasthan recorded the highest temperature of 49.4 degrees Celsius. The maximum temperature recorded in India's capital, New Delhi, was 48.8 degrees Celsius. Meanwhile, Cyclone Remal has killed 1 and injured 17 in the state of Assam as strong winds and heavy rains lashed many parts of the state. A tree fell on a school bus in the Morigaon district, killing 1 student as heavy storm and rains lashed the state. Power supply is disrupted in Lower Assam, including the state capital of Guwahati. A portion of the half-long Silchar link road has been washed away by the rising waters in Dima Hasao district. The link road has been closed till the 1st of June. Some districts are on high alert after heavy to extremely heavy rainfall was forecast for the region, especially in the wake of Cyclone Remal that battered eastern India. The government of Assam has set up emergency helpline numbers. The Northeast Frontier Railway said 42 trains were cancelled for 2 days starting Monday. Many parts of the state, including its capital Guwahati, received rainfall since Sunday evening local time, bringing the mercury down. Meanwhile, rescue operations are underway as a stone quarry collapsed in Mizoram's Aizawl in the wake of Cyclone Remal, killing at least 10 people. The President and Vice President of India have condoled the deaths. The director of Jaipur Meteorological Centre says that a severe heat wave was recorded in the state of Rajasthan. The maximum temperatures had been recorded at Falodi and Barmer in the state.
सीवियर हीट वेव का दौर अब राजस्थान में अगले 1-2 दिन और ही जारी रहेगा, यानी कि अभी यदि देखेंगे तो अगले 24 घंटों के दौरान दक्षिणी राजस्थान के कुछ भागों में अधिकतम तापमान में 1 से 2 डिग्री सेल्सियस की हल्की गिरावट होना आज से ही शुरू होगी। इसके अलावा 29-30 मई तक राजस्थान के अधिकांश भागों में अधिकतम तापमान में 2 से 4 डिग्री सेल्सियस की गिरावट होगी, यानी कि फ़िलहाल जहां पर अधिकतम तापमान 48 डिग्री से ऊपर रिकॉर्ड हो रहे हैं, 30-31 मई तक यहां तापमान 45 डिग्री या इससे नीचे रिकॉर्ड होने की प्रबल संभावना है। यानी कि जो हीट वेव और सीवियर हीट वेव का दौर फ़िलहाल बना हुआ है, ये अगले 2-3 दिन बाद समाप्त होने की के लिए कंडीशन फेवरेबल है।
All right, joining me from New Delhi is Siddharth Bharadwaj. Siddharth, 48.8 degrees in Delhi. I'm sure even your shadow must be looking for shade. That's how hot it is. So how's the capital city and large parts of northern India as a whole coping with this searing heat?
Well, definitely a very good afternoon to you, Ramesh, and you said it right. When I'm stepping out, definitely the shadow is also looking for shade, but not right now because I'm inside the premises of the IMD. And as per the scientists here, as we had a word with them, they are saying that from 2-3 days from now, there will be no respite when it comes to the heat waves, and after that gradually the temperature will go down. What are heat waves and exactly when will we get respite? To talk on this, I have with me Dr. Naresh Kumar, who's senior scientist in IMD. Sir, thank you so much for joining in. A red alert has been issued in several parts of northwest region. Tell us, when will we get respite from this scorching heat? Temperature is 48.8 degrees Celsius somewhere.
Yeah, at present we have given a red alert for almost all the states of northwest India, then even Madhya Pradesh also, and it starts from Punjab, Haryana, Rajasthan, NCR Delhi, West Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, then Himalayas also experience heat wave. Then for Jammu Kashmir, specifically Jammu region, and lower part of Himachal is also likely to experience heat wave next 3-4 days. But after 2 days, what we are expecting, a western disturbance is likely to affect northwest India. As a result, there will be some light rainfall activity in somewhere in Punjab, Haryana, and high reaches also. And thereafter, wind pattern is also we are expecting will change. It will start coming from the RVNC. As a result, temperature will fall gradually after 48 hours.
Definitely. Sir, can you explain here on the map that exactly where the heat waves are occurring and where will we get respite from when it comes to the map?
Yeah, if you see these figures, here we have given Punjab, Haryana, West Uttar Pradesh, then entire Rajasthan, then entire Madhya Pradesh. Red alert for day 1, and for Jammu division and Himachal Pradesh we have given yellow alerts. Similarly, if you come for day 2, almost similar thing, we are expecting there will be a slight reduction in heat wave over East Rajasthan in day 2. For that one we have covered orange alerts, and if you see the day 3, we have decreased our color to the orange, expecting that temperature will fall gradually over northwest India, and day 4, day 5 there will be a further reductions, and day 5 almost we have removed the heat wave over northwest India.
Definitely, sir. Heat waves in some parts of northwest region as well as central India. Temperature is going as high as 48.8. What precautions people should take when they are coming out of their houses, even if at all, for any necessary work?
Yeah, we are issuing special advisory and including in our bulletins, special bulletins for heat wave. One is morning at 8 a.m. and second detailed bulletin we issue at 4 p.m. Here we that is put all the advisory as per the NDMA guidelines. So just few one I will mention, just like people should take more that is fluid and wear light clothes and light color also, and they should avoid to go out in the peak hours whenever there is a maximum temperatures, and cover their heads, and especially elderly people should take high precautions in these days.
Well, definitely, Ramesh. So that was Senior Scientist of India Meteorological Department, Dr. Naresh Kumar, who said that please do not come out of your houses until and unless it's necessary. And when it comes to heat wave, so till 2 or 3 days, people have to bear the brunt of scorching heat. They will have to face the scorching temperature, but after that, gradually the temperature will come down, and people specifically in northwest area of the country will get some respite from this temperature. Over to you.
Siddharth, thank you. Appreciate it. Siddharth Bharadwaj in New Delhi. A report published by an Indian not-for-profit organization called Center for Science and Environment has discovered a new phenomenon that the cities in the country are not cooling at night as they did between 2001 and 2010. With data collected from 6 major cities, Its report said that humidity caused by uncontrolled urban sprawl plays a major role in the rising temperatures. As residents in these cities do not get any respite from the heat at night, it could also impact their health. The organization called for action to implement a heat management plan. The U.S. National Weather Service calls a heat index of more than 41 degrees is dangerous for human health. And India is not alone. Temperatures rose above 52 degrees Celsius in southern Pakistan. Pakistan continued to sizzle after weather officials forecast heatwave conditions across the country. Officials said that the heatwave is expected to subside in Mohenjo-daro and surrounding areas. Scientists said that such extreme heat throughout Asia is a result of human-driven climate change. Meanwhile, Cyclone Remal has claimed at least 13 lives in Bangladesh. It uprooted trees, damaged houses and disrupted life in various districts of the country. More than 3.7 million people were affected. More than 150,000 homes were damaged. On Tuesday, Bangladesh Meteorological Department said that the storm over Sylhet and surrounding areas is weakening and is expected to move northeastwards, gradually losing strength. Power restoration efforts are underway as mobile networks and internet services are impacted in the southern districts of Bangladesh. The ongoing storms and tornadoes in the United States have claimed at least 21 lives across 4 states. The death toll is on the rise as storms and tornadoes batter the country, downing power lines and leaving a widespread destruction in their wake. A state of emergency was declared by the governor of the U.S. state of Kentucky. Still to come on DD India News Hour. Israel's Prime Minister says the airstrike in Rafah will be investigated. And Russia to build a small nuclear power plant in Uzbekistan, the first such project in post-Soviet Central Asia.
Hype versus facts. In-depth news and analysis with experts who will help you decide why this election matters. DD India is the main election headquarters with numbers most accurate, data most reliable, and viewership across the platforms. Stay tuned to the Great Indian Election only on weekdays at 8:30 p.m. IST and 1500 hours GMT.
You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Ramesh Ramachandran. In Papua New Guinea, more than 2,000 people are feared buried under the landslide that hit a remote village. Rescuers are trying to reach out to survivors in the face of adverse weather conditions and risk of further landslides. The government of Papua New Guinea on Tuesday ordered thousands of people to evacuate. Laura Westbrook joins us from Hong Kong for more. Laura, what's the latest you can tell us about the landslide and its aftermath?
Yes, well, authorities have said they are evacuating close to 8,000 people in villages near where this massive landslide took place. As you mentioned, the government has said more than 2,000 people were buried when this massive landslide swept through this village in Enga province in the early hours of Friday morning. This is when many people were asleep in their homes. Now, the rescue efforts are continuing, but there really are some perilous conditions there. That's been experiencing rain, and there's also flowing water, which is making the terrain very unstable, and that is making it extremely dangerous for both survivors and rescuers as well. Some of of the mud is up to 8 meters with houses buried in that mud. So it really is quite dangerous for people there at the moment.
Laura, is aid pouring in? How's Papua New Guinea coping with the challenge of reaching the people buried under the rubble?
Yes, there are many challenges that remain. The United Nations has said that it's closely monitoring the situation and that assistance will be long-term and complicated. China, too, is monitoring the situation. We've heard from the Chinese Foreign Ministry in its daily news briefing, and it has said that it is maintaining close communication with Papua New Guinea and is offering assistance and relief as needs require. Australia, too, which is Papua New Guinea's closest neighbour, is sending teams there, including technical experts. They're going to be arriving with drones to help map out the area. But one of the things that is desperately needed is heavy equipment. This is to try and dig through the rubble and debris. Some of the rubble contains boulders and even trees. So you can just imagine this situation to try and dig through that. It has been slow to arrive, but according to reports, some heavy equipment is starting to arrive now from the capital, some 400 kilometers away. In the meantime, though, people have been digging with sticks and even their bare hands as they really race against the clock, trying to find survivors who are buried in the rubble.
Laura, thank you. Laura Westbrook reporting from Hong Kong. Now moving on, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi has condoled the deaths in Papua New Guinea landslide. Taking to X, he said, and I quote, "Deeply saddened by the loss of lives and damage caused by the devastating landslide in Papua New Guinea. Our heartfelt condolences to the affected families and prayers for speedy recovery of the injured. India is ready to offer all possible support and assistance," unquote. Now, as a close friend and partner under the Forum for India-Pacific Islands Cooperation and as a gesture of solidarity with the people of Papua New Guinea, India on Tuesday extended an immediate relief assistance of $1 million to support relief, rehabilitation and reconstruction efforts in Papua New Guinea. An important pillar of India's Indo-Pacific Oceans Initiative, announced by Prime Minister Narendra Modi in November 2019, is disaster risk reduction and management. India said that it is committed to humanitarian assistance and disaster relief and continue to be a responsible and steadfast responder. To West Asia now, where Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has said that the airstrike in Rafah was not intended to cause civilian casualties, but the incident will be investigated. Netanyahu reiterated his commitment to bring back all Israeli hostages from Gaza. Israel on Monday carried out a military operation targeting a Hamas compound in Rafah, which caused a fire in the area, resulting in the death of at least 45 people.
In Rafah, we already evacuated about 1 million non-combatants residents, and despite our utmost effort not to harm non-combatants, something unfortunately went tragically wrong. We are investigating the incident and will reach conclusions because this is our policy.
And joining me from Tel Aviv is Sarah Coates. Sarah, how's Israel handling the fallout of the airstrike that killed, like we said, at least 45 people in Rafah?
Hello there, Ramesh. Well, that fallout has been very swift. We did, of course, hear from Benjamin Netanyahu. He says that the Israeli military takes every possible precaution to spare civilian lives in Gaza, with the IDF also saying that it's getting its fact-finding mechanism to investigate this incident that is being described as tragic. But Ramesh, what we do need to look at here is it was roughly 20 hours after this strike before we heard any official political figure express remorse over the deaths of these some 45 people in that strike. Now, the Israelis claim that this was not actually designated as a safe zone. Palestinians, though, say that this was an area where they were told they could be and they weren't moved along from. So certainly differing opinions here on whether it was safe or not. But certainly this is really being seen as a turning point in this war, as this condemnation really continues to come in thick and fast. We've heard the French President Emmanuel Macron. He says that these operations must stop. Well, the EU's foreign policy chief, Josep Borrell, he says he is horrified and he condemns this in the strongest terms. So really, what this is doing is further isolating Israel from the international community. We are seeing these people that were once strong allies of Israel now distancing themselves. And Netanyahu himself is finding himself in a very, very difficult position, not just internationally, but also domestically, as he's polling very, very badly. More and more people are coming out against him, joining in these weekly demonstrations, calling on him to step down over his handling of the war. We still do need to remember that Netanyahu is the most senior figure here, and he still hasn't come out to actually say that I take any of the responsibility for the failures of October 7. So certainly a very, very tough situation he's facing.
Sarah, you're calling the 45 deaths as a turning point. Now, that said, Netanyahu says, and he maintains, that Israel's military operations will continue in Gaza. But the US, for its part, is urging Israel to better protect civilians. What more can you tell us?
And this is really what we've been hearing the entire time, Ramesh. We heard many statements from the White House, from President Biden, saying that this Rafah operation is a red line, but they didn't really back that up. All we've really seen in terms of action taken against Israel is this weapons pause that was a few weeks ago, the heavy weapons pause of that delivery of weapons to Israel. But certainly what we are hearing from this latest incident is that heavy bombs were actually used on this area that all of these civilians were sheltering, killing those some 45 people. Israel is right now continuing to bomb the Gaza Strip, bomb parts of Rafah, and it really is just a truly tragic situation. This is why the European Union has for the first time now also come out to discuss putting sanctions on Israel. There's also this UN Security Council meeting. It'll happen behind closed doors. That's a little later today. So certainly the tide is really turning against Israel, as we just spoke about. And Israel is growing very, very concerned about its standing in the international community and what all of this could do really going forward.
Sarah, thank you. Appreciate it. Sarah Coates reporting there from Tel Aviv. In other news that we are tracking here on DD India News Hour, Russia will build a small nuclear power plant in Uzbekistan. It will be the first such project in post-Soviet Central Asia. Uzbek President Shavkat Mirziyoyev made the announcement on Monday after visiting Russian President Vladimir Putin. For his part, Putin said that Russia would put $400 million into a joint investment fund worth $500 million to finance projects in Uzbekistan. According to the Kremlin, Russia's state-owned Rosatom will build up to 6 nuclear reactors with a capacity of 55 megawatts each in Uzbekistan. It's a much smaller scale project than the 2.4 gigawatts agreed to in 2018, which remains to be finalized.
The protocol signed today introduces amendments into 2018 agreement, which allows to construct a small nuclear power plant in Uzbekistan in lines with the modern Russian technologies. These, I would like to stress it, are consistent with the most strict demands of safety and protection of environment.
And Dasha Chernyshova joins us now from Moscow. Dasha, first nuclear power plant in post-Soviet Central Asia. How did that come about?
Well, indeed, a very important development and the important results of President Vladimir Putin's trip to Uzbekistan that he made over the past weekend and concluded on Monday. Now, the understanding is that the idea of constructing a small nuclear power plant in Uzbekistan, the first of its kind in Central Asia, has been in the making and at the table of discussions of the experts for years now, according to the Uzbek leader Shavkat Mirziyoyev. He said that at this moment there is the mutual understanding and the will to speed up the implementation of this strategic project, as he described. But he also hailed this project as vital for his country's development, saying that as Uzbekistan is coming to a new level of development, Uzbekistan will need this sort of power. He also said that Uzbekistan itself does have its own large reserves of uranium, and this is where Moscow could actually help and transfer its technologies to the neighboring country. Putin has vowed to do everything possible in order to work efficiently in Uzbekistan and on the Uzbek market. So far, we have seen Russia successfully exporting its technology when it comes to the construction of Russia's nuclear power plants across the globe. We have seen those projects taking place in Turkey and also in Egypt. Russia does have many arrangements on this issue. But at the moment, we understand that Moscow is willing to increase its investment into the Uzbek market and also, very importantly, to share its technology at a time when Russia became the most sanctioned country of the world and when ties with the Western world have been mostly cut off.
Dasha, for the benefit of viewers joining us from India and around the world, how would you describe Russia's ties with Central Asia? Does Moscow retain its influence in the region, or is China making inroads there?
Well, certainly, as we hear the Russian officials, they do want to even deeper their ties with the countries in Central Asia. They do say that it is important for Russia, especially given the very fact that there are many countries from the post-Soviet space, and Moscow does want to maintain its influence there, but also to do that on the mutually beneficial basis. Having said that, if we look at the results and the statements of the President Vladimir Putin's visit to Uzbekistan, you can certainly see that the two leaders have been discussing a lot the cooperation between the two, including in the area of migration. We do have many migrants from Uzbekistan in Russia, and one of the goals of the negotiations between the sides is to ensure that they have the decent conditions of working in Russia and to the benefit of the Russian economy, but it is also to the benefit of the Uzbek economy, so that they can send money back home to their families if they cannot find employment at home. Also, very importantly, Vladimir Putin has discussed the issue of military cooperation with the Uzbek leader, saying that Moscow will be strengthening its cooperation, including in the sector of air defense, rearming Uzbekistan. And also, the sides have all agreed that Russia will be increasing the supplies of its energy resources to Uzbekistan so that Uzbekistan can develop its economy. So certainly, the understanding here is that Moscow is willing to deepen its ties, but obviously in a way that benefits both sides instead of competing with other countries.
All right, we leave it at that. Dasha, thank you. Dasha Chernyshova in Moscow. And still to come on DD India News Hour. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi says that opposition parties have become so frustrated that abusing has become their nature. Prime Minister Modi to address rallies in Jharkhand and West Bengal ahead of the last phase of polling on 1st June.
We just don't bring you the news as it unfolds. We get to the heart of the matter. We don't just present facts, we demystify complex social, political and economic events.
We break stories that shape the world's present and future because you deserve the truth.
I am Tanvi Taneja from New Delhi.
I'm Ollie Barrett from London.
I'm Nick Harper from Washington, D.C.
Join us on DD India Global Monday to Friday at these times.
You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Ramesh Ramachandran. A quick recap of the headlines. South Asia sizzles under a heat wave. India's capital records a maximum temperature of 48.8 degrees Celsius. Mercury touches 52 degrees in Pakistan. India announces a relief assistance of $1 million to Papua New Guinea in the wake of a devastating landslide that's claimed hundreds of lives. And Britain's Prime Minister Rishi Sunak proposes tax cuts for millions of pensioners in his latest campaign pledge ahead of the 4th July election. All right, let's get you the latest on the world's largest election in India. Taking on the opposition parties, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi said they believe they have the right to abuse, but he has become resilient to insults after being continuously abused for the last 24 years. In an interview to ANI news agency, the Prime Minister said opposition parties have become so frustrated that abusing has become their nature.
जहाँ तक मोदी का सवाल है, मैं तो पिछले 24 साल से गालियाँ खा करके गाली प्रूफ हो गया हूँ। मौत का सौदागर किसने कहा था? गंदी नाली का कीड़ा किसने कहा था? और मेरे यहाँ तो पार्लियामेंट में एक दिन हमारे एक साथी ने हिसाब लगाया था, 101 गालियाँ गिनाई थी। तो चुनाव या चुनाव न हो, ये लोग मानते हैं कि गालियाँ देने का हक उनका ही है, और वे हताश निराश इतने हो चुके हैं कि गालियाँ देना, अपशब्द बोलना, ये उनके शायद जहन में है, उनके स्वभाव में हो गया है।
When asked about the last phase of polling to be held on 1st June, the Prime Minister took a dig at the opposition, saying that it would be the last insofar as their tall claims and dreams are concerned.
आखिरी दौर शब्द प्रयोग किया आपने, मुझे उसमें बहुत सी चीजें नजर आ रही है। एक, हमारा एक नया दौर शुरू होगा, उसका उसके अंदर संकेत है। दूसरा, जो लोग बड़े सपने देख करके बड़े वादे कर रहे थे, उनके लिए भी आखिरी दौर है। तो चुनाव का आखिरी दौर ऐसा है, उनकी स्थितियों का भी आखिरी दौर है।
On his decision to remove Article 370, the Prime Minister said that a feeling of belongingness is rising among the people of Jammu and Kashmir, and therefore its direct result is visible in the election and tourism alike.
ये अपने फायदे के लिए ये 370 की ऐसी एक दीवार बना के बैठे थे ताकि कोई झोंक न पाए, और कहते थे 370 हटेगी तो आग लग जाएगी, वो कहते थे 370 हटेगी तो कश्मीर चला जाएगा। आज ये सत्य हो गया कि 370 हटने के बाद ज़्यादा एकता की अनुभूति हो रही है, कश्मीर के लोगों का अपनापन ज़्यादा बढ़ रहा है, और इसलिए इसका सीधा परिणाम चुनावों में भी दिखाई देता है, टूरिज्म में दिखाई दे रहा है। G20 समिट वहाँ होती है, बड़े शान से कश्मीर ने उनका स्वागत किया पूरी दुनिया का, और इसलिए ये कैसे झूठी दीवारें खड़ी कर करके देश को टुकड़ों में देखा गया, इसका ये उदाहरण है, और उसको मैंने ध्वस्त किया है।
Now, 57 constituencies across 8 states and union territories will vote on the 1st of June in the 7th and last phase of India's parliamentary election. 904 candidates will be in the fray. 13 seats each in Uttar Pradesh and Punjab, 9 in West Bengal, 8 in Bihar, 6 in Odisha, 4 in Himachal Pradesh, 3 in Jharkhand, and 1 seat in the Union Territory of Chandigarh will go to the polls on the 1st. The election result will be announced on the 4th of June. Meanwhile, campaigning intensified for the final phase of polling on the 1st. Political leaders are holding rallies across the country. BJP leader and Prime Minister Narendra Modi is to address rallies in Jharkhand and West Bengal. Another BJP leader and Home Minister Amit Shah will hold rallies in Odisha. BJP President JP Nadda is in Himachal Pradesh and held a rally at Mandi. He will also meet locals afterwards in the capital Shimla. For its part, the opposition is making a last-ditch attempt to woo voters in its favour. The chief of the Congress party, Mallikarjun Kharge, is in Punjab for rallies. Congress General Secretary Priyanka Gandhi addressed a public meeting at Hamirpur in Himachal Pradesh. Another Congress leader, Rahul Gandhi, will hold a rally jointly with Samajwadi Party leader Akhilesh Yadav in Varanasi. And joining me from Anandpur Sahib in Punjab is my colleague Amrit Pal Singh, who is covering the election for us from the ground. Amrit, how's the election campaign coming along in the state?
Well, it's a frenzied election campaign in Punjab. National leaders are making a beeline here. Mallikarjun Kharge is in the state today. Yesterday, Priyanka Gandhi of the Congress was here. Rahul Gandhi is expected tomorrow. The Prime Minister, day after, before the campaign comes to a close, we hear he's going to address rallies at 2 different places, one in Hoshiarpur, other possibly Amritsar. The Prime Minister, as you know, was here day before in Patiala to campaign for the Patiala candidate Praneet Kaur of the BJP. Of course, the candidates and the Punjab leaders are campaigning of all political parties, the Akali Dal of the BJP, of the Congress and the Aam Aadmi Party. So that's how campaigning is going on, because it's quite a multi-cornered contest here in Punjab, Ramesh.
That said, Amrit, there are 13 seats that are going to the polls on the 1st of June in the state, in Punjab. Any key contests to watch out for, and also the issues that might be topmost in the minds of the voters there?
Well, first of all, essentially in Punjab it is a multi-cornered contest. There are alliance partners and former alliance partners which are in the fray. Shiromani Akali Dal and the BJP, which were part of the NDA, but after the Akali Dal broke away in 2020 for the first parliamentary elections or first general elections, they are going alone. All earlier elections they have contested together. So the BJP has fielded its candidates on all 13 seats, so has the Shiromani Akali Dal. So they are against each other for the first time in a general election. The India Alliance partners, the Aam Aadmi Party and the Congress, which are together at the national level, are contesting against each other. They don't have an alliance in Punjab. So these are the 4 players of political parties. Then there is another factor. There are the so-called hardliners. Simranjit Maan, who is considered a radical element, is a sitting MP from Sangrur, has a considerable following in that belt. Amrit Pal Singh, who is currently launched in the Dibrugarh jail, is contesting from Khadur Sahib. So that brings in another dynamic here. So it is very, very multi-cornered in many seats. In some seats it's 4-cornered. So it's an interesting battle here. Now, as far as the issues that matter to people, the farmers' issue is a big issue here in Punjab, which does not favor favour the BJP. There is a certain sentiment in rural Punjab after the farm laws and later the farmer protest 2.1, when they were stopped on the Punjab border, not allowed to cross over to Haryana because they wanted to go to Delhi. There is considerable anger which the Congress is trying to capitalize. The Aam Aadmi also party is also trying to capitalize on them. So there is farmers issues. Then there is the issue of jobs, of employment, of IT parks, creating more infrastructure and creating basically job creation here. So these are the issues which matter to the people, Ramesh.
All right, we leave it at that. Amrit, thank you. Amrit Pal Singh reporting on the Punjab election from Anandpur Sahib. Now, it says that if you want to see the transformational journey of Varanasi, take a tour of the different ghats in the holy city. Deepika Mehto reports on the city's glorious past and its journey of transformation over the last decade while retaining its cultural identity. Varanasi goes to the polls on the 1st of June.
Well, Varanasi is one of the oldest cities of India. And when we talk about transformation, many say that visit the ghats of Varanasi and see how Varanasi has transformed over the past years.
Varanasi, or Kashi, is one of the oldest living cities in the world. The numerous ghats of the city are a standing testimony to its rich cultural and spiritual past. Now, the city is witnessing a subtle yet important change in its landscape and infrastructure. From having the oldest temples to its first ever floating CNG pump, it is now all set to inaugurate 3 helipads on the ghat. The city is witnessing a growing economy accompanied with rapid development, cultural heritage, and its religious legacy. The ghats are providing employment opportunities not only to men but also women.
Been living here since childhood. Kashi wasn't like this before. It was very dirty. The ghat have been developed in the past years. This is giving us employment. It is all given by Modi ji. We want his government to come.
We have seen a lot of changes. Kashi has changed. The government is giving us all. I now want more opportunities for us so that we can work whatever we want to and earn for ourselves.
Ferry boats have now become a major source of employment apart from being a big tourist attraction.
Kashi has changed a lot. From Kashi corridor to development on all ghats, we now also have a helipad point over here. It has seen a transformational journey.
The culture and tradition mixed with modern facilities make Kashi the perfect destination for domestic and foreign tourists.
I wish that we could have spirituality schools here in Kashi. Spirituality should be inculcated officially in all the youngsters here. Since this is Kashi, the land of gods, it is important to have official spiritual schools in Kashi for the young generation.
Kashi or Varanasi will go to the polls on June 1st in the last phase of Lok Sabha elections 2024, and people of Kashi aim to vote for development, stability and increased income sources for themselves.
The divine city of Kashi is not just a tourism spot, but this city depicts the rich cultural heritage of India. This is one of the oldest cities, which is now witnessing a transformational journey across Varanasi. With camera person Sanjeev, this is Deepika reporting from Kashi for DD India from Assi Ghat.
Let me get you some more election-related news from across the world. UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak and the country's opposition leader Keir Starmer are back on the campaign trail ahead of the 4th July election. Sunak on Monday proposed tax cuts for millions of pensioners in his latest campaign pledge. Sunak's Conservative Party said that it would introduce a new age-related allowance and deliver a tax cut of $128 for each of the 8 million pensioners in the UK in 2025. Opposition leader Keir Starmer delivered his first major speech of the campaign in West Sussex and then met with business owners at a cafe in northern London. He says that the undecided voters can trust the Labour Party to safeguard the country's economy, border and security. Still to come on DD India News Hour. Tennis legend Rafael Nadal virtually rules himself out of a final appearance at Wimbledon this year.
Is here in the heart and the banks of mighty river Ganga, tracking the pulse of the pole-bound Banaras. The sanctity and the legends and the history and the legacy associated with Kashi is simply enthralling.
अब घाट क्या था, क्या से क्या बन गया, न वो घाट नहीं था, न वो घाट नया बन गया।
वाराणसी की जनता से ये कहना चाहूंगी कि हर कोई व्यक्ति घर से निकल करके वोट करे।
वो तो अपना नैतिक अधिकार है और उसको जो तुम जरूरी है जो तुम वोट करना।
Varanasi is one of the most prestigious seats that is going to be polls on 1st of June. This is one constituency that has seen a massive transformation from the symbol of faith to massive development.
Now, 28th of May marks a significant milestone in Indian democracy. 1 year ago to the day, the country's new parliament building was inaugurated. It ushered in a new era for India's legislative process. Kirat Chawla revisits the journey and milestones of this architectural marvel that stands in the heart of New Delhi, symbolizing the strength and growth of the world's largest democracy.
28th May, a historic date in the history of Indian democracy. It was on this day in 2023 the new parliament building was inaugurated. The state-of-the-art building, which is part of India's Central Vista redevelopment project, now houses the Lok Sabha, lower house in the Rajya Sabha, the upper house of the Indian Parliament, with provisions for further expansion amidst the growing needs of the world's largest democracy. The new Parliament House was first used for official business on September 19, 2023, when a special session was convened. A year has passed since the grand building located in the heart of India's capital New Delhi was dedicated to the nation. Amidst the grandeur as it now stands in its splendor, charting the course of India's future from its premises, here is a glance at the timeline of the building that epitomizes the largest democracy of the world. On September 2019, the master plan for redevelopment of Central Vista Avenue was conceived. The Tata Projects Limited won the contract for the construction of the new Parliament building in September 2020. The architectural consultancy work of the building was won by HCP Designing Plan in October 2020. It was on December 10, 2020, the foundation stone of the new Parliament building was eventually laid. On July 11, 2022, the statue of the country's national emblem was unveiled on top of the new Parliament building. The main structure of the new Parliament was finally completed on 28 August 2022. Finally, on May 28, 2023, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated the new Parliament building along with his fellow parliamentarians. And on September 19, 2023, a special session was convened in the new Parliament building, marking the official functioning of the new building. Designed to be earthquake resistant, the building features large seating capacities in both chambers, 888 seats in the Lok Sabha and 384 in the Rajya Sabha. Unlike the old building, it does not have a central hall, but the Lok Sabha chamber can house 1,272 members during a joint session. The Lok Sabha chamber also houses the Senghal, gold-plated silver sceptre, which marked the transition from the old to new building, establishing the latter as the new officer of governance of the Indian democracy. In its first year, the new Parliament building has already witnessed significant legislative activities, including the passage of the Women's Reservation Bill, marking a new era in India's democratic journey.
Kirat Chawla for DD India.
And Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla called the new Parliament House a historic moment in the life of India.
आज के दिन एक वर्ष पूर्व देश के प्रधानमंत्री माननीय नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने इस भवन का लोकार्पण किया। 2 साल 7 महीनों के अंदर ये भवन बना जो हमारे देश के आत्मनिर्भर का मॉडल भी है और हमारे 140 करोड़ देश की आकांक्षाओं अपेक्षाओं का प्रतीक भी है। इस संसद भवन के अंदर नए संसद में महत्वपूर्ण विषयों पर चर्चा हुई। भारत की अर्थव्यवस्था पर चर्चा हुई। 2047 में भारत कैसा होगा उसके लिए भी यहाँ चर्चा हुई।
Let me get you some sports news now. Tennis legend Rafael Nadal on Monday virtually ruled himself out of a final appearance at Wimbledon this year, saying that it will not be smart to do so before the Olympics. Nadal lost in the first round of French Open to Alexander Zverev in what many believe was his final appearance at the tournament. Zverev became only the 3rd man to beat Nadal at Roland Garros after Novak Djokovic and Robin Soderling. Though he did not confirm his decision to retire, Nadal potentially bowed out of the French Open one last time with a first-round defeat against Zverev. The 22-time major champion who won the Musketeers Cup for the first time in 2005 had previously said that this year could be his final one on the tour. It was a year of achievements for India at the Cannes Film Festival. It was a triple feat for Indian talent, which included Payal Kapadia's All We Imagine as Light, Chidananda S. Nayak's Sunflowers Were the First Ones to Know, and Anusuya Sengupta's The Shameless. Munmun Bhattacharya has more.
Laurels after laurels. India won big at the Cannes Film Festival 2024. A wait of many decades got over when All We Imagine Is Light by Indian director Payal Kapadia won the coveted Grand Prix prize, the second spot in one of the toughest competition lineups. The only other Indian filmmaker to win the Grand Prix at Cannes was Chetan Anand for Nichanagar in 1946. Grand Prix used to be the top prize then. All We Imagine Is Light was the first Indian film in 30 years to be showcased in the main competition.
There are interesting films being made in India, and I'm only a product of that because there is a lot of films, a lot of interesting filmmakers, such variety of work in all languages.
India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi congratulated Payal on her remarkable feat. Other Indians too notched up victories at the festival. Anusuya Sengupta became the first Indian actor to win an award for Best Performance at the festival. She was awarded for her performance in Bulgarian director Konstantin Bojanov's film The Shameless that screened in Uncertain Regard category of the festival.
The moments after the screening were just incredible. It's really something else. Never in my life experienced something like that. You could see it's authentic. People were truly moved, and that was so moving.
Chidanand S. Nayak of the Pune-based Film and Television Institute of India received the first prize in the last NF section of the festival for his student film Sunflowers Were the First Ones to Know.
It took us some time to believe it. We were not expecting the first prize. We were expecting that something good is going to happen. We were not expecting the first prize. But yeah, we are happy.
Indian director Mehsam Ali's In Retreat became the first Indian film to screen in the Acid Sidebar of Cannes. Other Indian films or films with an Indian connection were also screened at the festival. Indian cinematographer Santosh Sivan became the first Asian to receive the Pia Anjaneo Excellence in Cinematography Award at Cannes.
I think I ventured into this profession thanks to my dad, who was a photographer already. And so I used to travel with him and he used to shoot even as a child. So I think what fascinated me is the fact that you can travel.
Congratulatory messages from the film fraternity came pouring in.
Big congratulations to Mr. Santosh Sevan, Wasanta, as we call him, for receiving the prestigious Peer Engineer Award at the Cannes Film Festival.
The 77th Cannes Film Festival was certainly a game changer for Indian filmmakers and the largest film industry in the world. India's showcase of its cinematic genius won applause, recognition and awards. Now only the Palme d'Or for the Best Picture awaits us. With cameraman YK Loknath, Munmun Bhattacharya from Cannes for DD India.
And with that, it's a wrap on this edition of DD India News Up. For those of you on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates on the DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. You can scan the QR code on the screen now to download it. Let us know your thoughts on the news of the day as well. You can connect with us on Facebook, X and Instagram. You can also check out our website ddindia.co.in. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I am Ramesh Ramachandran. All of us here in New Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India News Hour.